All right, man, we're here. We're back with Shea from the Fisher. You guys probably remember him from our winter steelhead trip that we did with them in Washington. If you haven't watched that episode, we'll put a link on here for you, but we had a great time. And we're back. We're doing the same exact technique we did. We're side drifting, this time with more bait opposed to artificial, mainly because of water height, clarity, things like that. But I'm excited. My dad's back up here. We are running about half hour late. I don't know. Dad, why are we running a half hour late?
He was waiting for the sun.
Yeah.
It was a rainy one this morning, so I'm glad to see the sun, that's for sure.
Somebody locked their keys in the truck.
Oh no.
So we had to call my buddy Eric, because like, dude, can you send a locksmith over? He sent a locksmith over. It took about an extra hour and a half. Whatever. We're gonna get the evening biters. Anyways, we're gonna get to dragon bait. We're gonna catch some summer Chinook. And
yep, limits to summer Chinook, 2 steelhead per person.
We're gonna go play.
So we got a smorgasbord.
Yeah. Let's go rock and roll. Thanks for watching, guys. We got a pretty special crew today. We got my dad back up from Eastern Oregon. We got Dave, who's the owner of Three River Marine up here, and then we have Shea. So we're gonna do some more side drifting, more dragon bait, and start putting the wood on this fish. We fished yesterday evening, slow evening. Got to, for me personally, again, I've never been up here, and it got me a chance to get to know the water a little bit. But this morning, what do we got? High tide out there at like 5:30. I was looking at it. How long does it take to get in here? That influence?
Well, it all depends. I bet it's probably 12, 24 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, we're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us today, guys. A little bit earlier. Yeah, look up on the sky. What do we got there? The keeper. Hatchery model. That's right. See, I don't mess with the native fish, just mess with the hatchery models. But anyways, good work, Shea. That's wet. Good job. Put it right on, dropped him right in the slot, and
Did the coho roll?
hammered it. So, sweet. First one of the day. Get him out of there. Dave was nice enough to let his eggs go past the fish, kind of set the fish up for failure and suicide on my set of eggs. So really, I kind of owe that one to Dave. He just set them up for me. What do you got, Shea? What do you got? Like pretty standard fish up here?
This is probably right on the verge of being an adult from a jack here.
So you're saying my fish is not an adult, it's a small fish. That's what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you're right on the verge. You're an adult. You're in the big boys club.
You're not gonna, Shea's not gonna make you feel good about yourself. But,
hey,
we'll
it's
get
only
you on
5 a.m. We got a long day.
10, 12 pounds?
Yeah, we're pushing it there right about
Hey,
10.
just give me double digits. Give me double digits at least, man. So, awesome, my man.
Perfect.
Where are we gonna bleed this guy?
Right in that box there.
First fish of the day, man. We're on the board. We'll take it. That's a nooker. Acting like a hatchery model too. You know, when you got the big fish, I'm right here, and then you get hit in the head with the net while you're fighting to explain it. You don't realize, or I should say you don't not realize, but this is when the full setup is important. With the rod, the reel, the line, the hooks, everything has to work together with these light setups and big fish for it to be successful. And so you could get away with using a lot of different gear, but being particular and being perfect is when it mattered right now with big fish and light tackle. So I'm gonna try to get this guy put in the net. He's a nice one, really nice one here. One of those new reels.
Yeah.
Smooth drag on there still. See why you like them sticky though. At the end
She's ready. Reel down and lift up.
Yeah, baby. That's a nice color. Nice work, Shay. Actually, that was Dave. That was Dave's driving.
Good job, baby.
Good work.
Just got Comish on the boat. Done, baby.
Look at that bad boy. Nice fat belly on there.
Show the bait inside too.
Got some sea lice. Yeah, right in there. He broke the bottom one off.
Right, nice.
Beautiful fish. Gorgeous. Thank you guys. All right, Dad, you're up, man.
That's what you came up here for,
That's
man.
what we came up here. So I've caught my. I've put 2 in the boat this morning. So I might crack open a Coors latte and let the guys do some fishing. Heck yeah! Good work, guys. Good work. That is cool on that little rod. As big as the one you got.
All the way down to that swivel. You got a new neck guy going on or what?
He's nervous. He's on. This is the first time on camera for him. Nice work, guys. Put a little line out, Dad. I was coming through and you can film, come up behind it and just nab at it, and then my line, he's swimming with it and it went sideways underneath your guys' line. Like, oh boy.
Hot hand.
Hot hand
Hot
today. It's the only time I get to do it is when I come fishing with Shay. Got him. We got 5 fish landed today. 5 fish landed. Lost a couple. Got some bites. Good fun fishing. You gotta get up here. Look Shay up. Give him a call. Really. Alrighty guys, this is when the work begins. So, awesome day of fishing. We just spent like 3.5, 4 hours driving in the truck, getting back home. The fish processing. I think this is probably the most challenging part for a lot of people. I got my bird dog in here. Ringo, go. Mainly because we are tired. We're tired at the end of the day. We want to make sure we take advantage of our catch. And here are 3 techniques that I use when it comes to cleaning salmon. And this worked out really nicely today because we were able to keep 3 of them, a small, medium, and a large. So I want to show you 3 different ways to process it. Number 1, on these small fish, this 9 times out of 10, this is the way I do a small fish. If you noticed, when you guys started watching, I was scaling this fish, and all I was doing is taking my knife. You could take a wire brush, you could take a scaler, and you could literally just scrape the scales off this guy. The closer this fish was to the ocean, if not in the ocean, the easier the scales come off. The longer they've been in fresh water, the harder it is to get off there. So what I do, after I've scaled it, do that on both sides, take my knife, take off the dorsal fin, go right behind the collar, and I'm gonna angle my knife upward just like this here, go up till it pops the vertebrae, turn the fish over, do the same thing on that side. You're gonna want to keep that. That's the collar meat of the fish. We're gonna set that aside. I like putting that on barbecue just like that. I'm gonna give this a rinse before we clean it up. So 1 sec here. Okay, now that we have that fish cleaned off, both sides are scaled, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna score it down to the vertebrae. Do not pass the vertebrae. It's not gonna make or break the deal if you do, but the reason we're scoring it is because the way I'm gonna cook this fish, I'm either gonna bake it or barbecue it. I'm gonna season it. I'm gonna make sure that seasoning gets in between those slits that we made and gets down into the meat. I'm gonna put this onto the barbecuer, do a lot of different recipes with it. What's really cool about this is when you take a small fish, it feeds a lot of people. You put this over a bed of jasmine rice and put weird vegetables all around it, it goes a long, long way. So that's way number 1 to process it. Usually use that on smaller fish. Number 2, staking our salmon. Take off the fins, take off the head just the way we did before, angle up, get as much of that meat off there as we can, flip it over, same thing, pop the head. Again, that little guy, salt, pepper, garlic on the barbecuer, pick that meat out of there, put it on rice, absolutely great. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this knife, and that's how I'm gonna cut my steaks. That thickness of the knife, which is about 2 inches thick. This again is a medium-sized fish. You could steak any size fish. You could steak large fish, small fish. You're still utilizing the entire fish itself. So really, again, any size fish. This is just for me. I forgot to take that bottom fin off. Let's get that guy off there. And then this bottom piece. So now we have our steak fish. That's way number 2 to process it. Okay, and then the last way is we're gonna fillet it. And this is our larger fish here. We had to chop off his tail because he didn't fit very good in the cooler we took up with us. So he's gonna be a little challenging. It's usually nice to have a tail to hold on to here, so this is gonna be a little bit of a chore for me. Got the top way down. Get rid of that. Get rid of this bottom fin. Go to a smaller knife. Well, I'm gonna take his head off. 2 different ways. When you're just starting to fillet, take that head off. And the reason we take the head off is because when we get down to the vertebrae itself, we want to be able to have a visual on that vertebrae, so we have a guide for our knife. And then what I do is I take my knife, I stick it right on that vertebrae, apply downward pressure. Again, guys, the pressure I'm applying is not this angle, but it's a flat pressure. There's a nice flex in this Gerber that allows me to do that. See how it's nice along the vertebrae? I'm gonna keep that consistent pressure and take long strokes all the way down, and you should feel that vertebrae bumping against your knife. I always cut a little slit down at the bottom. That's like that. If you're new to filleting, here's what I want you to try. Instead of trying to take the whole fish, what I want you to do is cut a little section, just the way you would your steak. Go down to that vertebrae, fillet with the technique that I just showed you, comes off. Get that guy out of the way. Cut another little fillet, down to the vertebrae again. Technique. And you're able to go section by section by section without missing any meat. When you're not as experienced as others, there's different ways to learn. And this is the way I learned to fillet larger salmon, and it's always worked out really, really well for me. Okay. And we're just going to do that with the rest of the fish. I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of this just because I know what I'm going to use it for. And then we have our carcass left over. With this salmon, with this fillet that we took, I want to dissect it even more. Grab a smaller knife. I'm going to pull those rib bones out of there. This knife is a little thinner, has a little more flex. I want to bring it in the top size of this rib cage and just work it down to where you could see the bottom side, or you could see the top of that knife just past this membrane that's connected to the ribs. So just keep working it down. Just like that. This top part right here, that going into the collar, it's a little bit of a different bone angle on there. Then I'm going to take that fin off. Really good little piece to put on the barbecue as an appetizer or smoke. Get this guy out there. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the belly. The reason I remove the belly is because this is going to cook a lot faster than your regular steaks. So when I put this on the grill, these belly pieces will get done quite a bit faster than these steaks. Or I should say fillets. Trim this down. Now every one of these pieces you put on the barbecue is going to cook at an even rate, and you're not going to have a dried out belly when you have a perfectly cooked fillet, or have a perfectly cooked belly when you have a little bit of a raw fillet. And you can do that still with these smaller fillets that you made. Again, there's the belly. Cut it out. Cut your steaks. I call these steaks also, guys. They're regular fillets. Just like so. These pieces here that we cut, we're going to take that belly rib cage out of there. Move it aside. Belly meat, fillet. We're going to just keep on doing this till the entire fish is spoken for. And using those small pieces to dissect that salmon, or using these 3 ways to process a salmon, is a good way, especially if you're just getting started and you don't want to waste any fish. None of us want to waste fish. And this is a good way to use every last piece of it for all the different recipes we have. So again, we have our steaks that you could use on any fish. We have our whole fish that I like to use on smaller fish. Great presentation again. And then we have our filleted fish. Those are the 3 ways that we process our salmon here at VIP Outdoors. Hope that helps, guys. Everything we're using, from the knives to the rods to the reels and everything in between, is going to be down in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. We've had a long day. We've been up since 3 in the morning, catching fish, cleaning fish, driving, drinking horrible coffee, and it was just a great day. So, thanks for watching. Hey,
Good job.
put it right on, drop him right in the slot. Oh, come on! That's the way we start our day here. I seriously, I got set up. I gave Cam the camera. I was like, this is gonna be awesome. First pass, potentially hook a fish, and instead, Dave and I tinkle each other. So that's pretty standard procedure in our world. Yeah, we're on the board. For you guys to get a hold of Shea. And these are 3 of the 5 fish that we landed today. Got a wild steelhead, wild Chinook, lost a couple, but just a great way to spend a summer day. We got not so much June weather today, but when you're out here and generally speaking in shorts and t-shirt and catching Chinook, you can't find a better time, in all honesty. But thanks for having us, Shea, man. I appreciate you.
Glad for you guys to come up and enjoy it with us.
Oh man, it was great to get out with my dad again, and that's what it's about. It's about getting out here with your friends, your family, and there's times that you don't know when the last fishing trip's going to be with your loved ones. So make sure you take advantage of it. And Shea's a great guy to do that with. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. Side drifting where you only got about 5 minutes.
I thought it'd be